It's been a great evening and a big surprise. And I hope you will recognize that the kind of work I was involved in wasn't anything like what these other tremendous honorees that we've been talking about. They were doing stuff that was really required, you know, the very best brains in the business. And mine were not in that category, but I think working for a big company, it's a little bit different. You're not trying to, you're just kind of down and dirty trying to help them make a buck. And that's kind of what I focus on. And I wouldn't be up here tonight if it hadn't been for my dear wife of 66 years, Ruth. She has just been terrific. Total support for all 66 years, and she's still doing the same support and keeps me on the right track. Great lady. There's so many people to thank for this situation. I hardly know where to go. I want to thank all of the professors that I had many years ago in the chemical engineering department for making me work so hard and struggle so hard with the work that everything else in my life has just been a cinch. Something as monumental as this award for me has been causing me to kind of do some introspective thinking about, you know, what did I do that caused me to be able to do stuff? And it takes, first of all, it takes a lot of luck. And the first luck I had was having really capable parents. And that does take luck. But they were really good, and they, in particular, taught me two particular things that just stuck with me the rest of my life. And the first one was be independent, and don't let peer pressure cause you to do things you might not want to do. And so sure enough, even in kindergarten, well, I grew up a little bit, and my parents being from Canada, I knew that schoolboys wore short pants. Well, okay, so I wore short pants in Seattle grade schools, and didn't get teased too much, but maybe by 6th grade. Well, then I ended up in junior high, and sure enough, I was really teased. And my parents said, well, I'd said, you know, well, peer pressure, don't let them do that, all right? Well, one day the vice principal called me in and said, Eric, I see that you're teased a lot. Do you like that? I said, well, no. And he said, well, can't your parents afford long pants? And I said, well, they can afford long pants, but I'm not going to let those other kids force me to wear them. That was kind of the two things, independence and not willing to, you know, it's a good thing to have, you know, if you're working in a big company. You're a little bit independent and not quite follow the party line, the company line. Well, the other thing was that my parents had a little expression they kept saying to me, and they said, never give up. 'Tis the secret of glory. Well, I didn't really know exactly what glory meant, and I did look it up here the other day, and it's got a pretty interesting test. It's called great honor and admiration won by doing something important or valuable. That's the first thing in the dictionary. And it seems to me that never giving up is a really important thing in trying to do stuff, and especially difficult engineering problems where people are ready to throw up their hands and say it can't be done. And I can't really think back of any significant project that I didn't complete in some reasonable way. I'd have to say they were mostly successful. And I blame it on not giving up. I had a lot of good fortune. The people in my chemical engineering class that were really straight A kids all got great jobs back east, and I was kind of left wondering what I'm going to do in 1951. And lo and behold, I ended up with the best job that anybody could have ever had at Monsanto. And you heard about the vanillin plant. We made enough vanilla to flavor all the ice cream in the country. And the plant ran for 40 years. There were never any significant serious accidents in spite of handling just about the worst kind of chemicals you can imagine, acids and volatile solvents. More luck. I was in the right time, in the right place, I mean. In 1970 was a kind of a banner year. It's the day that the folks at Weyerhaeuser suggested that they wanted to be able to measure the volume of logs precisely instead of just counting a few on the ground and sample scaling. So I undertook that job in 1970, and it's only since this award that I've realized that 1970 was an unusual year in our family. And I have been pretty serious about the family and not letting the family be anything except at the top of my priorities. And it just turned out that our last two kids graduated from high school in 1969, and my dear wife went back to school to finish her RN, and I had a couple of years, and I think that explains why I was able to be successful at automated sawmills, but it was sure a lot of fun. And, this evening, I do want to congratulate all of the honorees, and I want to congratulate all engineers everywhere for their accomplishments. And engineers have been absolutely instrumental in bringing us to our modern society. And we should be mighty proud of that. We all should be mighty proud of that success. But there's a problem. Some of our successes are causing some serious, significant problems, and I'm happy to say that the new young engineers are going to have to dig in and solve these problems. And at the top of that list for me is the sequestering of carbon, or carbon dioxide. I do want to again congratulate my fellow honorees for their achievements. Far greater than mine, but mine were at least slightly significant. And don't ever give up. Oh, I didn't tell you. I discovered where that word came from. Don't ever give up. Tis the secret of glory. It turned out that my parents were really into poetry, and just because of this award, I typed that in the other day to the internet, just that one line, and it turned out it's the first line of a very nice little poetry, about 8 lines of poetry that was dated about 1850 or so. Don't ever give up. Tis the secret of glory. Thank you.